We can no longer innovate over a 6-month, 12-month, 18-month period. We're going to have to innovate over weeks, over months, and be successful at it. In an ideal world, that's exactly what would happen. The challenge to us is to create that world. We need to understand innovation and understand it as a science as opposed to an art. And that's the first step that needs to take place before we can move forward.
It was actually articulated to me by Gary Hamel. And he said that if you went back in the quality movement 20 or 30 years ago, and I remember this in the company that I was running at the time, there was a notion that there was randomness in quality. And so you had these SPC charts, and your observations would never be all right on the expected line because there was just randomness. And of course, I think where the world came to was there really aren't any random events. That there are things that appear to be random because you just didn't know what all of the causal factors were. But if you could figure out all of the variables that affected the outcome, you actually could produce exactly the right thing every time. And Gary Hamel's view, which I think is where you're coming from, Tony, is that in innovation, what appears to be random, unpredictable outcomes, it's just that way because we don't know all the factors that affect the outcomes. And maybe the management of innovation is today where the quality movement was 20 years ago.
We need to focus on innovation as a science. Now, having said that, once that is complete, now we have to focus on executing that process at breakneck speed. Now, in order to achieve that, we have to understand the process of innovation, and we have to understand how to do it very, very quickly and very thoroughly.
I really like the concept that the Strategyn people brought to us, that people have underlying needs or processes in their lives that they're solving or addressing in some way right now. And what really understanding the customer needs means is understanding what that underlying process is and how it is that it's being solved so that we could do a better job helping them do what they're already trying to do. And so a model is really quite useful. And being able to put a common model out there and then using that model, look at it from multiple directions, I think we probably saw farther into the future than otherwise you could do if you didn't have the assistance of the model.
The real challenge is to always be successful.